Hi, Dan Surface here. I want to share with you some ideas I pulled over in the car, as you can see. And every time I start this little video, a Harley rider comes pulling out of the AutoZone and kind of messes up my whole entire tape. So I'm going to talk kind of fast and see if I can get through it this time. I was on a web radio program today, and they asked me the question, what 3 tips would you give to somebody either starting out in the speaking profession or someone who has to give a speech or a talk to a group of people? Now that can be one-on-one, that can be an executive talking to a group, it can be an attorney talking to a jury, but there's 3 things that I would definitely tell you to do. First of all, figure out your audience, know your audience. When I first started in the speaking business, I spoke to Purdue University, a group of engineers who had been out in the profession and who came back for an alumni dinner, and I gave the keynote. And I talked about the Brooklyn Bridge. Now, the Brooklyn Bridge has some very emotional stories in there about the builder of the Brooklyn Bridge and how he got the bends and so forth. And I started talking about emotion. Well, these engineers, they didn't care about any of that. They wanted to know how thick was the roof on the caisson and about splicing the cables and all of this stuff. Now, luckily, I'd read a book about this thick, and so I had a lot of those answers, and I was able to appear to be the expert. But when in reality, I didn't know my audience when I started. The second thing I would say is write out a statement of purpose. Just take a piece of paper and write the answer to this question. What do you want your audience to do as a result of this talk? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to charge out like missionaries? Do you want them to call their congressman? Do you want them to do something very specific? But know what it is. If you don't have an objective for the talk, how can you possibly strategize that talk? How can you build that talk if you don't know what the objective is? So start with your statement of purpose. And the third thing I would suggest is that you write it with an opening, a body, and a close. Now, the opening is your attention getter. It makes them want to listen to you. Not something like the kindergarten opening, which is, how's everybody today? I can't hear you. That's kindergartenish. Appear professional. Learn how to give a good attention-getting opening. And then at the close, the close is actually the challenge. It's giving them the challenge of what you want them to do. And you can use emotion, you can use humor, whatever you want to do. But you need to give them the challenge. The body of the speech is actually the why. That simply tells them why they should listen to you. Why should they believe as you believe? And so those 3 things, the opening, the body, and the close, are so important. And you can start anywhere you want. You can start with the close. You can start with the opening. But build it using that formula. It's tried and tested. It's been used for years by organizations such as Toastmaster and all of my coaching with my coaching clients. I teach them how to do this. It's very important. So use those 3 tips, and your next presentation will be, you'll knock it out of the ballpark. And if you need some more help, give me a call or email me, and let's talk on the phone. I'll be happy to give you any advice that I can to make your next talk a huge success. Thanks. We'll see you soon.